Welcome to Amsterdam, a city where the rhythm of life flows as steadily as its iconic canals, where bicycles weave through streets like schools of fish, and where every bridge tells a story from the Dutch Golden Age. This waterlogged wonderland boasts over 100 kilometers of canals. That's more waterways than Venice. Crossed by an astonishing 1,500 bridges, creating a labyrinth of liquid streets that earned the 17th century canal ring its UNESCO World Heritage status. The best way to experience this aquatic marvel is by boarding one of the glass-topped canal boats that glide silently past leaning merchant houses. Notice how these tall, narrow buildings tilt forward slightly. This ingenious design isn't from settling foundations, but a deliberate feature, allowing goods to be hoisted up through exterior pulleys without banging against the facades. But to truly understand Amsterdam's soul, you'll want to do as the Dutch do: cycle. With approximately 880,000 bicycles, outnumbering cars 4-1, the city is a pedal-powered paradise. Join the morning rush of commuters streaming across bridges, their bike bells creating a cheerful urban symphony. Rent a sturdy Oma Fiets, grandma bike, and explore the Jordan district's cobbled lanes, where hidden courtyards and indie boutiques await discovery. Just remember the golden rules. Always lock your bike to something immovable. Thieves are crafty. Watch for tram tracks that can swallow wheels, and never ever walk in the red bicycle lanes unless you fancy being yelled at in Dutch. Art enthusiasts could spend weeks immersed in Amsterdam's extraordinary museums. The Rijksmuseum, housed in a Gothic Renaissance palace, showcases 800 years of Dutch mastery. Stand before Rembrandt's monumental The Night Watch in the Gallery of Honor and watch as the artist's revolutionary use of light seems to bring the militia company to life 4 centuries later. Nearby, the Van Gogh Museum holds the world's largest collection of the tortured genius's works, from the vibrant sunflowers to his final, haunting wheat field with crows. For contemporary art, the Stedelijk Museum's bold architecture houses Mondrian's geometric abstractions and provocative modern installations. No visit is complete without experiencing the Bloemenmarkt, the world's only floating flower market that's been brightening the single canal since 1862. Stroll past stalls overflowing with tulip bulbs, perfect for souvenirs. Just check import regulations, exotic orchids, and the Dutch favorite, fragrant hyacinths. This floral spectacle connects to one of history's most bizarre economic bubbles, tulip mania. In 1637, at the peak of this frenzy, a single Semper Augustus tulip bulb could sell for 10 times a craftsman's annual salary, enough to buy a grand canal house. While the market crashed spectacularly, the Dutch passion for flowers never wilted. Beyond the tourist highlights lies Amsterdam's true charm in its everyday moments. Join locals at a brown cafe, traditional pubs, sipping Genever, Dutch gin, as the afternoon light filters through centuries-old glass windows. Sample stroopwafels warm from a street vendor, the caramel oozing between thin waffle layers. Or simply find a quiet canal bench to watch houseboats bob gently as ducks paddle by. This is Amsterdam at its best, a city that's managed to preserve its golden age grandeur while embracing modern vibrancy, where water isn't just a feature, but the very foundation of its identity. From the solemn halls of the Anne Frank House to the neon-lit revelry of the red light district, Amsterdam invites you to explore its many layers, always promising to reveal something unexpected around the next canal bend. Often called the Venice of the North, Giethoorn is a fairy tale village where time seems to stand still amidst a tranquil network of canals, wooden bridges, and storybook thatched roof farmhouses. This idyllic water world in the province of Overijssel operates without roads in its historic center. Transportation happens entirely by boat, bicycle, or on foot, along more than 180 charming wooden footbridges that arch over the waterways. The absence of car noise creates an almost surreal peacefulness, broken only by the quacking of ducks and the quiet hum of electric motors on the canals. Giethoorn's unique character stems from its origins as a peat harvesting settlement founded in the 13th century by Mediterranean fugitives who named it after the numerous goat horns, Giethoorns, they found in the area, remnants of a 1170 flood. As workers dug peat for fuel, the excavations filled with water, creating the distinctive narrow canals and small islands that define the village today. The traditional farmhouses with their steeply pitched thatched roofs sit on these tiny islands, many accessible only by bridge or boat, creating a postcard-perfect scene at every turn. Exploring Giethoorn by whisperboat, Fluisterboot, is the quintessential experience. These nearly silent electric rentals allow visitors to navigate the village's labyrinth of canals at their own pace, passing under low bridges and alongside flower-filled gardens. For a more active adventure, kayaks and canoes provide access to narrower waterways where larger boats can't go. The village forms part of De Weerribbenweiden National Park, a spectacular wetland preserve that's best explored by paddling through its reed-lined channels. Home to rare birds like purple herons, black terns, and elusive bitterns. While summer brings lush greenery and blooming water lilies, Giethoorn transforms into a magical winter wonderland when the canals freeze. Locals and visitors alike take to the ice on skates, gliding between houses and under bridges in a scene straight out of a Dutch Golden Age painting. The village takes on special charm during the holiday season, when lights reflect off the frozen canals and cozy restaurants serve steaming bowls of erwtensoep, pea soup, to warm, chilly skaters. Beyond its waterways, Giethoorn offers several worthwhile attractions. The Museum Giethoorn te Oude Maat-Oos recreates a traditional farmhouse interior from the early 20th century, complete with authentic furnishings and household items. The Museum de Oude Aarde showcases an impressive collection of minerals and semi-precious stones in a charming waterside setting. For art lovers, Gallery Gloria Maris exhibits beautiful shell sculptures and nautical-themed artwork. The 1958 Dutch comedy film Fanfare put Giethoorn on the international map when director Bert Hanstra used the village's picturesque setting as a backdrop. Today, visitors can still see locations from the movie, including the famous Fanfare Bridge. While tourism has grown significantly since then, the village maintains its authentic charm by carefully managing visitor numbers and preserving its car-free policy in the historic center. Practical tips for visiting include arriving early in the day to beat the crowds, especially in peak summer months. While day trippers from Amsterdam descend by midday, mornings and evenings preserve the village's tranquil atmosphere. consider staying overnight in one of the cozy bed and breakfasts or holiday homes to experience Giethoorn after the day visitors leave. The village makes an excellent base for exploring the surrounding Weerribbenveen National Park, where guided boat tours reveal the region's rich flora and fauna. Dining in Giethoorn offers delightful waterside experiences. Restaurant de Lindenhof holds a Michelin star for its innovative takes on local ingredients, while more casual pancake houses and fish restaurants line the main canals. Don't miss trying local specialties like smoked eel or boerenkool, kale with sausage, in one of the thatched roof establishments. What makes Giethoorn truly special is how completely it immerses visitors in a different way of life. Without the noise and rush of cars, time seems to slow down as you navigate the waterways at the pace of a gentle current. Children fish from wooden bridges. Elderly residents tend to their waterside gardens, and everywhere the soft lapping of water against boat hulls creates a soothing soundtrack. It's a living reminder of the Netherlands' intimate relationship with water, not as something to fear, but as a natural element to be embraced and enjoyed. Whether you come for an afternoon boat ride or a week of cycling and canoeing through the national park, Giethoorn offers a uniquely Dutch experience that lingers in memory long after you've left its quiet canals behind. Just a short journey from Amsterdam lies Ziens, a living postcard of Dutch heritage where time seems to have stood still. As you step off the train, you're immediately transported to the 17th century, greeted by the gentle creaking of wooden windmills turning against the crisp North Sea breeze. This isn't just another tourist attraction. It's a fully functioning open-air museum where history breathes through every cobblestone and canal. The star attractions are undoubtedly the magnificent green windmills lining the Zaan River, their massive sails casting dancing shadows across the water. Each serves a unique purpose that harks back to the Netherlands' industrial golden age. Decat, one of the last remaining pigment mills in the world, still grinds vibrant powders using techniques unchanged since 1782. Nearby, De Zoeker's giant stones press oil from seeds with the same method used 4 centuries ago, while Het Jonge Shops' rhythmic sawing echoes the sounds that once filled this valley when it was Europe's first true industrial zone. The true magic happens when you step inside these engineering marvels. The scent of aged wood fills your nostrils as you climb the steep ladders, feeling the structure sway gently in the wind. Massive wooden gears groan above you, transferring the wind's energy with precision that would make modern engineers envious. From the top platforms, the view stretches across patchwork fields where the Dutch first perfected their battle against the sea. At the clog workshop, the sharp tang of fresh-cut poplar wood mixes with the rhythmic tapping of craftsmen's tools. Watching a simple block transform into polished footwear in mere minutes is nothing short of mesmerizing. Nearby, the cheese farm envelops visitors in the rich, nutty aroma of aging Gouda. Sample wheels infused with everything from classic cumin to surprising chili flavors, each made using methods passed down through generations. strolling along the riverbank, you'll notice how the green-painted mills create perfect mirror images in the still water, broken only by the occasional passing boat. The scene changes with the seasons: vibrant tulip fields in spring, golden reeds in autumn, and in winter. When the canals freeze, locals still skate between the windmills as their ancestors did. Don't miss the working bakery where the scent of freshly baked speculi as spices wafts through the air, or the tin foundry where molten metal is poured into delicate molds, just as it was 300 years ago. For a truly immersive experience, time your visit for the golden hour, when the setting sun sets the wooden buildings aglow and the village takes on an almost magical quality. What makes Ziens extraordinary is that this isn't a staged performance. Real people live and work here, keeping traditions alive not for show, but as part of their daily lives. The school children who pass the windmills every morning, the farmers who still deliver milk to the cheesemakers, even the millers who climb their structures daily to adjust the sails. They're all part of an unbroken chain, stretching back to when these wind-powered factories made the Netherlands the economic powerhouse of Europe. Practical yet poetic, Ziens offers more than just photo opportunities. It's a chance to walk through living history, to touch, taste, and smell the Netherlands as it once was, and in many ways, still is. Whether you spend an hour or a full day here, you'll leave with a deeper understanding of how wind, water, and wood built a nation. If you're planning a trip to the Netherlands in spring, a visit to Keukenhof is an absolute must. Known as the Garden of Europe, this 79-acre floral wonderland is one of the most spectacular spring gardens in the world. Every year, 7 million flower bulbs are planted across the park, transforming it into a dazzling sea of tulips, hyacinths, daffodils, and other vibrant blooms. With its rich history, stunning landscapes, and immersive floral displays, Keukenhof attracts 1.5 million visitors during its short 8-week opening season, from mid-March to mid-May. Keukenhof's origins date back to the 15th century, when it served as the kitchen garden of Teylingen Castle, providing herbs and vegetables for the castle's kitchen. In the 19th century, the estate was redesigned into an English-style landscape garden. However, Keukenhof, as we know it today, was established in 1949, when a group of Dutch bulb growers and exporters decided to create a living showcase for flower bulbs. Their vision was to promote the Netherlands' flourishing horticultural industry, and they succeeded beyond expectations. Keukenhof is not just a garden, it's a carefully curated work of art. Each year, the park follows a unique theme, influencing the designs of its themed gardens, pavilions, and flower shows. The sheer scale of blooms is breathtaking. 7 million bulbs burst into color, including 800 varieties of tulips alone, from classic single-colored blooms to rare parrot and fringed tulips. Hyacinths, daffodils, crocuses, and orchids add layers of fragrance and diversity to the landscape. One of the highlights is the variety of themed gardens. The Inspiration Gardens offer small, creatively designed spaces perfect for home gardening ideas. The Historical Garden showcases tulip varieties from the 17th century, including those that fueled the famous tulip mania. For a peaceful retreat, the Japanese garden features cherry blossoms and tranquil water features. Indoors, the Willem-Alexander Pavilion hosts the largest flower show in the park, displaying orchids and lilies, while the Beatrix Pavilion focuses on exotic flowers like anthuriums. No visit to Keukenhof is complete without seeing the iconic windmill overlooking endless flower fields. Climbing the windmill provides a panoramic view of the surrounding tulip fields, and visitors can even rent bikes to explore the vibrant Bollenstreek, bulb region, beyond the park. The sight of row upon row of colorful tulips stretching to the horizon is unforgettable. Beyond flowers, Keukenhof celebrates Dutch culture with sculpture exhibitions scattered throughout the gardens, workshops on flower arranging, and guided tours explaining the history of Dutch floriculture. The Netherlands is the world's largest tulip exporter, but this wasn't always the case. Tulips were originally imported from the Ottoman Empire in the 16th century and became a luxury status symbol. During tulip mania in the 1630s, single tulip bulbs sold for more than a house. While the speculative bubble eventually burst, tulips remained a national treasure. Today, the country produces over 4 billion tulip bulbs annually, and Keukenhof is the best place to witness their beauty. To make the most of your visit, arrive early, before 10 a.m., when the morning light enhances the colors and crowds are thinner. Buying tickets online in advance helps avoid long queues. Mid to late April is usually the best time to see the tulips in full bloom. Don't forget your camera, as every corner of the garden is Instagram-worthy. For an even deeper flower experience, consider combining your visit with a bike tour of the surrounding bulb fields or exploring nearby towns like Lisse and Haarlem, which have charming flower markets and museums. Amsterdam's Bloemenmarkt, the world's only floating flower market, is also worth a visit. Keukenhof is more than just a garden. It's a celebration of spring, color, and Dutch horticultural mastery. Whether you're a flower enthusiast, a photographer, or simply looking for a magical experience, this floral paradise will leave you in awe. Walking through this living masterpiece is a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle that captures the essence of the Netherlands in bloom. Plan your visit, embrace the beauty, and let Keukenhof's flowers take your breath away. Kinderdijk, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is one of the Netherlands' most iconic and picturesque locations, where 19 historic windmills stand as proud testaments to Dutch ingenuity in the centuries-long battle against water. Dating back to the 18th century, these majestic structures were built between 1738 and 1740 as part of an elaborate water management system designed to prevent flooding and reclaim land from the surrounding rivers. In the windmills of Kinderdijk are more than just scenic landmarks. They represent a remarkable feat of engineering that has shaped the Netherlands' very existence, allowing the Dutch to live below sea level while keeping their feet dry. The story of Kinderdijk begins with the constant struggle against water that has defined Dutch history for over 1,000 years. Located at the confluence of the Lek and Noord rivers, the Alblasserwaard region was prone to devastating floods. To control the water levels, a sophisticated system of dikes, canals, and windmills was developed. The 19 windmills at Kinderdijk were specifically constructed to pump water from the low-lying polders, reclaimed land, into a reservoir, which would then be discharged into the rivers when the tide was low. This system was so effective that it remained in use until the mid-20th century, when modern pumping stations took over. Visiting Kinderdijk today is like stepping back in time. The windmills, with their massive sails and wooden mechanisms, are remarkably well preserved, and two of them, the Nederwaard and Blokveer mills, are open to the public as museums. Inside, visitors can see how millers and their families lived and worked in these cramped yet functional spaces. The mills were not just machines. They were homes where entire families resided, maintaining the delicate balance between human survival and nature's forces. Climbing the steep ladders and exploring the interiors gives a real sense of the challenging yet vital work these millers performed day after day. One of the best ways to experience Kinderdijk is by taking a boat tour along the canals. The gentle glide of the boat offers unobstructed views of the windmills lining the waterways, creating perfect photo opportunities, especially during the golden hours of sunrise or sunset, when the light reflects magically off the water. For those who prefer to explore on foot or by bike, well-maintained paths run alongside the dikes, allowing visitors to wander at their own pace and soak in the serene beauty of the landscape. Cycling through Kinderdijk is particularly rewarding, as it combines the Dutch love of bikes with the area's natural and historical splendor. The name Kinderdijk, meaning children's dike, comes from a poignant local legend. According to the tale, after a terrible flood in 1421, known as the Saint Elizabeth's flood, a wooden cradle was spotted floating in the water. When it came closer, people saw a cat jumping back and forth to keep the cradle balanced, and inside, a baby lay peacefully asleep, completely unharmed. This story of resilience and hope has become symbolic of the Dutch spirit in the face of adversity, much like the windmills themselves, which stand as enduring symbols of the nation's determination to tame the waters. Beyond the windmills, Kinderdijk offers insights into the broader history of Dutch water management. The Wisboom pumping station, built in 1868, showcases the transition from wind power to steam and later electric pumps. Interactive exhibits and visitor centers provide engaging explanations of how the Netherlands continues to innovate in water technology, from the Delta Works to modern climate adaptation strategies. It's a fascinating look at how a country that is largely below sea level has not only survived but thrived by turning a potential threat into an opportunity. Kinderdijk is beautiful year-round, but each season brings its own charm. In spring, the surrounding fields burst with colorful flowers, while summer offers long, sunny days, perfect for picnics by the water. Autumn brings a golden hue to the landscape, and in winter, if it's cold enough, the canals freeze over, creating a magical scene straight out of a Dutch painting. No matter when you visit, the windmills stand as silent sentinels, their sails turning slowly in the breeze as they have for centuries. For photography enthusiasts, Kinderdijk is a dream location. The The symmetrical alignment of the windmills along the canals creates striking compositions, and the play of light and shadow throughout the day offers endless creative possibilities. Early mornings are particularly magical when mist often rises from the water, adding an ethereal quality to the scene. Professional photographers and Instagrammers alike flock here to capture the perfect shot of these iconic structures. Kinderdijk is not just a tourist attraction, it's a living monument to Dutch heritage. Some of the windmills are still inhabited by millers who maintain them in working order, preserving traditional skills that might otherwise be lost. Special events, such as Mills in Action Days, allow visitors to see the sails turning and learn firsthand about the mechanics of these incredible machines. The site also hosts cultural events, including concerts and exhibitions that celebrate the region's history and traditions. Practical tips for visiting Kinderdijk include wearing comfortable shoes, as the terrain can be uneven, and bringing a rain jacket. This is the Netherlands, after all, where weather can change quickly. Arriving early in the day helps avoid the largest crowds, and considering a combined ticket for the boat tour and museum mills enhances the experience. Public transportation from Rotterdam or Dordrecht makes Kinderdijk easily accessible, and there are plenty of cafes and small eateries nearby to enjoy a coffee or traditional Dutch snack after exploring. In a country famous for its windmills, Kinderdijk stands out as the most authentic and impressive collection, offering a unique window into the Netherlands' past and present relationship with water. It's a place where history, engineering, and natural beauty come together in perfect harmony. Whether you're drawn by the allure of the windmills, the fascinating history, or simply the peaceful atmosphere, Kinderdijk is a destination that leaves a lasting impression, reminding us of humanity's ability to adapt and innovate in harmony with nature. While Amsterdam holds the official title as the Netherlands' capital, The Hague, Den Haag, serves as the country's true seat of power and international diplomacy. The Zeeland coastal city houses the Dutch government, parliament, and royal family, creating a fascinating contrast to Amsterdam's more carefree atmosphere. Walking through The Hague's stately streets, you'll immediately sense its importance. From the medieval Binnenhof political complex to the gleaming modern buildings housing international courts. The Binnenhof stands as the beating heart of Dutch politics, a remarkable 13th century castle complex that remains the oldest functioning parliamentary building in Europe. Its iconic Ridderzaal, Knight's Hall, with its distinctive twin towers and Gothic architecture, has witnessed centuries of political history. Visitors can join guided tours to see where Dutch lawmakers have debated national affairs since the Middle Ages, standing in the same halls where decisions shaped the Netherlands' global empire and modern democracy. The adjacent Hofvijver Pond reflects the complex's fairy tale silhouette, creating one of the country's most photographed views. Royalty permeates The Hague's identity as the official residence of King Willem-Alexander and the Dutch royal family. The working Noordeinde Palace sits elegantly in the city center, while the more private Huis ten Bosch Palace nestles in the nearby Haagse Bos forest. During royal events like Prinsjesdag, the annual opening of Parliament, or King's Day, the city transforms into a sea of orange as crowds gather, hoping to spot their monarch. The royal connection extends to local businesses too. Patisserie Leroy near Noordeinde Palace has supplied pastries to the royal family since 1830. The Hague's global significance shines through its nickname as the International City of Peace and Justice. The magnificent Peace Palace, built in 1913 with support from Andrew Carnegie, serves as the seat of the International Court of Justice and Permanent Court of Arbitration. This neo-Renaissance architectural gem, surrounded by lush gardens, symbolizes humanity's pursuit of peaceful conflict resolution. Over 180 international organizations call The Hague home, including the International Criminal Court and the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, making it a true crossroads of global diplomacy. Art lovers find paradise in The Hague's exceptional museums. The Mauritshuis, housed in a 17th century palace, showcases Dutch Golden Age masterpieces, including Vermeer's enigmatic Girl with a Pearl Earring and Rembrandt's dramatic The Anatomy Lesson of Dr. Nicolaas Tulip. Nearby, the Kunstmuseum Den Haag holds the world's largest Mondrian collection, tracing the artist's evolution to his final work, Victory Boogie Woogie. For something completely different, the Escher Museum displays the mind-bending works of M.C. Escher in Queen Emma's former winter palace. When locals need fresh air, they head to Scheveningen Beach, The Hague's vibrant seaside resort. This 11-kilometer stretch of sand offers everything from bracing North Sea swims to elegant pier dining. The recently renovated pier extends dramatically over the waves, featuring a Ferris wheel and bungee jumping for thrill seekers. Just inland, the vast dunes of Meijendale Nature Reserve provide serene hiking and cycling through protected landscapes, while the Haagse Bos Forest offers shady paths right in the city center. The Hague's culinary scene reflects its international character. Historic cafes, like Café Schlemmer, have served politicians and diplomats for generations, while the Passage Shopping Arcade hosts refined dining establishments. The city's Indonesian restaurants, particularly along Wagenstraat, offer some of the best rijsttafel, rice table, outside Indonesia, a delicious legacy of colonial history. Don't miss trying local specialties like Haagse hopjes, caramel coffee candies, or fresh herring from street vendors. The city's architecture tells its multifaceted story. Modern marvels like Richard Meyer's City Hall, glass complex contrast with the medieval Binnenhof, while Art Nouveau mansions in the Stadtenkwartier neighborhood showcase turn-of-the-century elegance. The recently renovated Central Station, with its undulating roof of glass and steel, serves as a stunning gateway to the city. With its unique blend of Dutch tradition and global outlook, The Hague offers visitors an experience unlike any other Dutch city. It's a place where you can watch international lawyers debate in Peace Palace cafes in the morning, admire Vermeer masterpieces at lunch, stroll along a windswept beach in the afternoon, and dine alongside diplomats in the evening, all while walking in the footsteps of centuries of Dutch history. Delft, one of the Netherlands' most picturesque historic cities, enchants visitors with its perfect blend of artistic heritage, royal connections, and postcard-perfect canals. The birthplace of both the iconic Delftware pottery and master painter Johannes Vermeer, this compact yet culturally rich city offers an authentic Dutch experience just an hour from Amsterdam. Walking through Delft feels like stepping into a Vermeer painting, with sunlight reflecting off tranquil canals lined with gabled houses and arched stone bridges. The city's global fame rests largely on its exquisite blue and white pottery, known worldwide as Delftware. At the Royal Delft Factory, established in 1653 and the last remaining original Delftware manufacturer, visitors can watch skilled artisans hand-paint intricate designs using techniques unchanged for centuries. The factory tour reveals the fascinating process, from clay molding to the final firing, showcasing how this craft evolved from its 17th century origins, when Dutch East India Company ships brought Chinese porcelain that inspired local potters. The on-site museum displays priceless antique pieces alongside contemporary interpretations, proving Delftware's enduring appeal. Delft's other artistic claim to fame is Johannes Vermeer, the 17th century master of light and domestic scenes. While the Vermeer Center, located where his family once lived, doesn't house original paintings, it offers the next best thing: full-scale reproductions of all his works, alongside interactive exhibits that decode his techniques. The center brings to life Vermeer's world in Delft, where he painted masterpieces like The Girl with a Pearl Earring and View of Delft, the latter capturing the city's skyline, much as it appears today. Walking tours trace Vermeer's footsteps through the medieval streets he knew so well. For breathtaking views, the Nieuwe Kerk's new church towering spire dominates Delft's skyline. Climbing its 376 steps rewards visitors with panoramic vistas over the city's red rooftops, crisscrossing canals, and on clear days, all the way to The Hague and Rotterdam. The church itself holds immense historical significance as the resting place of William of Orange, the father of the Netherlands, and subsequent members of the Dutch royal family. His elaborate mausoleum, crafted from rare marbles, stands as a testament to his role in the Dutch revolt against Spanish rule. That revolutionary history comes alive at the Prinsenhof Museum, where a dramatic assassination changed Dutch history forever. This former monastery served as William of Orange's residence until 1584, when he was murdered by Balthazar Gerards, the bullet holes still visible in the wall. The museum's exhibits trace the 80 Years' War that led to Dutch independence, displaying weapons, documents, and artifacts from this turbulent period. The building itself, with its Gothic cloisters and tranquil courtyard, provides an atmospheric setting for this pivotal chapter in Dutch history. Delft's compact city center revolves around the lively marked square, bordered by the Nieuwe Kerk and the imposing Stadhuis, City Hall, with its Renaissance facade. The square buzzes with activity on market days, Thursdays for general goods, Saturdays for food, when locals gather to shop for cheese, flowers, and the famous Delft stroopwafels, freshly made syrup waffles that taste infinitely better than store-bought versions. Cafes around the perimeter offer perfect spots for people watching while sipping Dutch coffee or locally brewed beer. Beyond the main sites, Delft rewards leisurely exploration. The Oude Kerk, Old Church, with its leaning tower nicknamed Old John, houses the graves of Vermeer and pioneering microscope inventor Antony van Leeuwenhoek. The nearby botanical garden at Delft University of Technology showcases both ornamental plants and historic greenhouses, while the adjacent Science Center offers hands-on technology exhibits. For a unique perspective, canal boat tours glide past hidden courtyards and under picturesque bridges inaccessible by foot. Delft's university, founded in 1842, lends the city a youthful energy. The TU Delft campus features striking modern architecture, including the futuristic library with its grass-covered roof. Students cycling to class along the canals add vibrant contrast to the historic surroundings. And this academic tradition continues Delft's legacy of innovation. The city was home to Hugo Grotius, founder of international law, and Cornelis Drebbel, who built the first navigable submarine. The city's culinary scene blends traditional Dutch fare with international influences. Local specialties include Delftse kaarsjes, small wax-sealed cheeses, and Delftse coffee, coffee served with a cinnamon sugar rusks. For dining with a view, the Vlamingstraat's canal-side restaurants serve everything from Dutch pancakes to Indonesian rice tafel. The historic De Waag building, once a wayhouse, now houses a brewery where you can sample craft beers in a 17th century setting. Delft's compact size makes it perfect for exploring by bike or on foot. The city center remains remarkably intact, with hundreds of protected historic buildings showcasing architectural styles from Gothic to Art Nouveau. Hidden hofjes, almshouse courtyards, like the tranquil Hofje van Grete, offer peaceful retreats from the main streets. Evening walks reveal another magical side of Delft, when illuminated bridges cast shimmering reflections on the canals. Throughout the year, Delft hosts vibrant festivals that bring its history to life. April's Classical Music Festival honors Delft's musical heritage, while August's historical market transforms the city center into a 17th century bazaar. The Christmas market, ranked among Europe's best, fills the medieval streets with twinkling lights and seasonal treats. Practical tips for visiting Delft include arriving early to beat the day trip crowds, especially in summer. The city makes an ideal base for exploring nearby attractions like Rotterdam and The Hague, with excellent train connections. Consider purchasing the Delft City Pass for discounts on major attractions and canal cruises. For souvenir shopping beyond the ubiquitous Delftware, look for handcrafted silver items or Delft blue licorice at local specialty shops. What makes Delft truly special is how effortlessly it balances its historic charm with contemporary vitality. Students and professors from the Technical University mingle with artists and craftsmen, keeping centuries-old traditions alive. Modern design shops sit alongside antique dealers in buildings that have stood for 400 years. This harmonious blend of past and present, tradition and innovation, gives Delft its unique character, a small city with an outsized cultural legacy that continues to inspire visitors, just as it inspired Vermeer centuries ago. Whether you come for the pottery, the paintings, or simply to wander picture-perfect canals, Delft captures the essence of Dutch heritage in its most refined form. Rotterdam stands as Europe's most daring architectural laboratory, a phoenix risen from through ashes to become the Netherlands' avant-garde showcase. When German bombs flattened the historic city center in 1940, Rotterdam faced a blank canvas, and what emerged was a visionary metropolis that continues pushing urban design boundaries. The city's skyline forms a living catalog of groundbreaking architecture, from Piet Blom's gravity-defying cube houses to Rem Koolhaas's surreal De Rotterdam complex. This isn't just a city of buildings, but a three-dimensional manifesto of innovation where even the mundane becomes extraordinary. Witness the Markthal, a residential apartment complex with a food market at its base, topped by a jaw-dropping ceiling mural of oversized fruits and vegetables that transforms grocery shopping into an artistic experience. The architectural wonders begin at Rotterdam Centraal Station, where a massive angular roof seems to launch trains into the future. Just outside, the Kubuswoningen, cube houses, tilt at 45-degree angles like a frozen forest of geometric trees, with one open as a museum where visitors can experience what living in a tilted cube feels like. Nearby, the pencil-shaped block tower and the undulating Timmerhuis create a surreal streetscape. The crown jewel of modern Rotterdam is the Erasmusbrug, nicknamed the Swan, for its graceful 139-meter steel pylon that lights up spectacularly at night. This iconic bridge connects the northern and southern banks of the Maas River, symbolizing the city's forward-thinking spirit. As Europe's largest port, Rotterdam's maritime DNA fuels its innovative character. The sprawling port of Rotterdam stretches 40 kilometers to the North Sea, handling more cargo than any other European harbor. The Maritime Museum's harbor tour aboard a historic boat reveals this industrial giant's scale, while inside the museum, interactive exhibits trace how a small fishing village grew into a global shipping powerhouse. Nearby, the floating Hotel New York occupies the original headquarters of the Holland America line, where generations of emigrants booked passage to America. For contemporary port culture, the M4H district's converted warehouses now host artist studios and breweries, continuing Rotterdam's tradition of adaptive reuse. Cultural life thrives in this working-class city, turned cosmopolitan hub. The Kunsthal Museum, designed by Rem Koolhaas, hosts blockbuster exhibitions spanning old masters to digital art. The Depot Boijmans van Beuningen, the world's first publicly accessible art storage facility, looks like a giant mirrored salad bowl reflecting the city skyline. Music lovers flock to the North Sea Jazz Festival each July, where legendary performers and rising stars across jazz, soul, and R&B fill multiple stages. For performing arts, the modernist De Doelen Concert Hall boasts one of Europe's finest acoustics. Rotterdam's food scene mirrors its multicultural population. The Markthaal's arched interior shelters dozens of food stalls, offering everything from Dutch herring to Surinamese roti. At Phoenix Food Factory in Kinderdijk, former Port Warehouse's house artisanal cheesemongers, bakers, and brewers. The city's Indonesian restaurants serve rice tafels that rival Amsterdam's, while innovative chefs are reinventing Dutch cuisine at Michelin-starred establishments like FG Food Labs. For local flavor, try Capsalon, a guilty pleasure of fries topped with doner meat, cheese, and garlic sauce, invented by Rotterdam barbershop owners. Green spaces provide respite from the urban energy. The Kralingseeplas Lake offers swimming, sailing, and forest trails just minutes from downtown. The Dak Park, Europe's longest rooftop park, transforms a former railway yard into a lush, elevated garden with skyline views. Even the historic Delfshaven district, one of few areas surviving World War II intact, maintains a village-like charm with its 17th century canals and Pilgrim Fathers Church, where America's Mayflower pilgrims last prayed before crossing the Atlantic. For perspective on how far Rotterdam has come, the Museum Rotterdam 4045 NU documents the devastating W12 bombing and remarkable reconstruction. The city's resilience shines through in projects like the Luchtsingle pedestrian bridge, crowdfunded by citizens to reconnect divided neighborhoods. This DIY spirit continues in initiatives like the Rooftop Days Festival, where normally inaccessible rooftops become temporary parks, cinemas, and concert venues. Practical exploration tips: rent a bike to cover more ground. Rotterdam is surprisingly spacious. Or use the efficient metro system. The Rotterdam Welcome Card provides transport and discounts. For the best skyline views, the Euromast Observation Tower's glass elevator climbs 185 meters, while the nearby Hotel New York's terrace offers harbor vistas with a cocktail. Architecture fans should time visits for the annual Architecture Month in May or the International Film Festival in January, when the city becomes even more culturally charged. Rotterdam's essence lies in its fearless reinvention, a city that turned destruction into opportunity and keeps rewriting its own future. Where other Dutch cities preserve history, Rotterdam creates it daily, whether through radical new buildings, sustainable port innovations, or multicultural street life. This isn't just a city to visit, but to experience as a living prototype of what cities might become, making every stroll through Rotterdam a walk through the urban future. With its picturesque canals lined by 17th century brick houses and humpback bridges, Leiden presents the classic image of Dutch Golden Age charm. Yet this compact city punches far above its weight in historical significance and cultural influence. As the birthplace of Rembrandt van Rijn and temporary home to the Pilgrim Fathers, Leiden's legacy extends across art, science, and global history in ways that belie its modest size. In the presence of the Netherlands' oldest university, founded in 1575 by William of Orange, as a reward for the city's resistance against Spanish siege, infuses Leiden with a vibrant academic energy while preserving its rich heritage. The university's establishment transformed Leiden into one of Europe's leading centers of learning during the 17th century. Walking through the historic Akademiegebouw, University Administration Building, on Rijpenburg Canal, you tread the same halls where pioneering scholars like Descartes and Boerhaave once lectured. This intellectual tradition continues today, with students cycling past the same canals where professors have lived for centuries. One of the university's influence permeates the city, from the anatomical theater in the medieval Burgt Fortress, where early medical dissections occurred, to the university library's priceless collections, including original letters from Pilgrim leader William Bradford. Leiden's most famous son, Rembrandt, was born in 1606 in a house near the Rhine River, marked today by a plaque at Veddesteeg. Though the original building is gone, the young Rembrandt studio recreates the artist's early working environment, while the Lakenhal Museum displays several of his works alongside other Dutch masters. Following the Rembrandt walk through Leiden reveals the mills, churches, and alleyways that shaped his formative years before moving to Amsterdam. The city's light, that same luminous quality captured in his paintings, still reflects off the canals, much as it did 4 centuries ago. For American visitors, Leiden holds special significance as the 11-year refuge of the Pilgrim Fathers before their Mayflower voyage. The Pieterskerk's English chapel commemorates their pastor John Robinson, who is buried here, while the nearby Pisijnshofje almshouses recreate the modest dwellings where Pilgrim families lived. The excellent Pilgrim Museum occupies a 14th century house where some likely stayed, displaying original documents and artifacts that tell this transatlantic story. Every July, costumed reenactors bring this history to life during the Leiden Pilgrim Festival. Botany enthusiasts will be drawn to the Hortus Botanicus, Europe's oldest botanical garden, 1590, where the first tulips bloomed outside Turkey. This living museum still grows descendants of those original bulbs alongside rare medicinal plants, a 400-year-old prickly pear cactus, and the legendary Victoria Amazonica water lilies in its tropical greenhouse. Nearby, the National Museum of Ethnology displays treasures collected by Dutch explorers during the Age of Discovery, including exquisite Japanese armor and Indonesian shadow puppets. Leiden's canal rings, built during the city's 17th century expansion, make for perfect walking tours. The smaller Rijpenburg Canal is considered the most beautiful, lined with elegant gabled houses that once housed professors and aristocrats. The larger single canal follows the original city walls, now dotted with cozy waterside cafes. Don't miss the Burcht van Leiden. This unusual 11th century fortress mound offers panoramic views from its circular walls, with interpretive panels explaining the city's medieval layout. Museum lovers could spend days exploring Leiden's diverse collections. The Rijksmuseum van Oudheden, National Museum of Antiquities, houses an exceptional Egyptian temple alongside Roman and Etruscan treasures. And the Museum de Lakenhal showcases Dutch Golden Age art in the former cloth merchants' hall, including Lucas van Leiden's early Renaissance masterpieces. For something completely different, the Corpus Museum takes visitors on a journey through the human body via a 35-meter-high model. Leiden's cultural calendar peaks on October 3rd, with Leiden's Onset, Liberation Day, commemorating the 1574 lifting of the Spanish siege. The entire city erupts in celebration. Parades wind through decorated streets. Traditional hutspot stew is served from giant pots, and herring stalls appear everywhere. The festive atmosphere continues year-round, with summer concerts in the Peterskerk, the Leiden International Film Festival, and December's magical Christmas markets. Practical tips. Leiden makes an easy day trip from Amsterdam, 35 minutes by train, but rewards overnight stays. The compact center is best explored on foot or by rented bike. Consider the Leiden card for museum discounts and canal cruises. For dining, try traditional Dutch pancakes at Oud Leiden or Indonesian rice tafel at Restaurant Didi. Don't miss climbing the Peterskerk Tower for breathtaking views or browsing the weekly Wednesday and Saturday markets along the Nieuwe Rhine. What makes Leiden truly special is how seamlessly it blends its illustrious past with contemporary vibrancy. Students relax in canal-side cafes that have served scholars for centuries. Modern sculptures dot medieval courtyards. Cutting-edge research occurs in buildings where Spinoza once studied. This harmonious coexistence of history and progress gives Leiden its unique character. A small city that shaped the modern world, now offering visitors the perfect mix of cultural depth and Dutch gezelligheid, coziness. Whether you come to follow Rembrandt's footsteps, trace pilgrim history, or simply wander beautiful canals, Leiden reveals the Netherlands' rich heritage at its most intimate and engaging. Utrecht captivates visitors with its unique blend of medieval charm and modern urban energy, creating one of the Netherlands' most distinctive city experiences. The city's iconic wharf cellars, Werfkelders, along the Oudegracht Canal, form its most recognizable feature. A series of water-level terraces originally built in the Middle Ages for loading goods, now transformed into cozy cafes and boutiques that give Utrecht's canals an entirely different character from Amsterdam's. These sunken patios, accessible via stairs from street level, buzz with activity as locals sip coffee or enjoy evening drinks practically at the water's edge, creating Europe's most unusual waterfront dining scene. Dominating the city skyline, the Dom Tower soars 112 meters as the Netherlands' tallest church tower and symbol of Utrecht's historical importance. Climbing its 465 steps rewards visitors with breathtaking panoramic views stretching across the city's red rooftops to the surrounding countryside. The adjacent Domplein square marks where the original Dom Church once connected to the tower before a 1674 storm collapsed the nave. Today, this open space serves as Utrecht's lively heart, hosting markets and events between historic university buildings. The tower's carillon still rings out across the city with regular concerts from its 50 bells, some dating back to the 17th century. Utrecht's cultural offerings range from whimsical to world-class. The Miffy Museum, Nijntje Museum, celebrates local artist Dick Bruna's beloved bunny character, immersing young children in colorful, interactive exhibits based on the simple yet profound picture books. Nearby, the Railway Museum occupies a beautifully restored 19th century station, where vintage locomotives and simulators bring train history to life. Art lovers shouldn't miss the Centraal Museum, housing an exceptional collection that includes Utrecht Caravaggisti paintings and the world's largest collection of Rietveld furniture, including a reconstruction of the iconic Schroeder House. The city's university, founded in 1636, gives Utrecht a youthful vibrancy, evident in its thriving café culture and innovative dining scene. The Lombok neighborhood's multicultural food market offers global flavors, while the Tweenstraats restaurants serve everything from traditional Dutch bitterballen to modern fusion cuisine. For a truly local experience, try Utrechtse Spritzen buttery cookies at one of the canal-side bakeries, or sample craft beers at one of the city's microbreweries, like De Lekkere. Utrecht's infrastructure reflects Dutch urban planning at its finest. The massive underground bicycle parking garage at Central Station, the world's largest with space for 12,500 bikes, demonstrates the city's cycling culture. The station area itself has undergone a remarkable transformation into a futuristic transportation hub with striking architecture by Bentham Crowell. Yet just minutes away, the medieval streets around Oudegracht retain their historic character, with specialty shops selling everything from artisan cheeses to vintage records. Just outside the city, Kasteel de Haar appears straight from a storybook with its turrets, moat, and lavish interiors. This spectacular neo-Gothic castle, rebuilt in the 19th century on medieval foundations, hosts jousting tournaments and Christmas markets in its sprawling gardens. Nearby, the Maxima Park offers 300 hectares of recreational space with lakes, meadows, and striking contemporary land art. Utrecht's calendar fills with vibrant events throughout the year. The summer's Canal Festival turns the waterways into performance spaces for classical music, while December's Dickens Festival transforms the center into a Victorian winter wonderland. The annual Utrecht Early Music Festival attracts world-renowned performers of historical instruments, reflecting the city's rich musical heritage that includes the famous Utrecht Psalter manuscript. What makes Utrecht special is how comfortably it wears its history while embracing innovation. Students bike past 13th century churches to cutting-edge research labs. Solar-powered boats glide beneath bridges, built when Utrecht was the Netherlands' most important city. Modern art installations appear in ancient cloisters. This harmonious balance creates an urban experience that feels simultaneously timeless and forward-looking, a quintessentially Dutch combination that makes Utrecht one of the country's most rewarding destinations. Whether you come to climb the Dom Tower, explore the wharf cellars, or simply soak up the atmosphere in a canal-side cafe, Utrecht offers an authentic Dutch experience, away from the crowds, full of discoveries waiting around every medieval corner.